Alright guys, Yeet Fighter is for sale. I know I keep saying it all the time. Anybody catching my videos, contact me. Give me a shout out, email me, and I'll sell you a bin file. You can put it in your Harmony cart, your Uno cart. You can put it wherever to play Yeet Fighter. It's a one-of-a-kind Street Fighter style game for the Atari 2600. There is nothing else like it. You're never going to see graphics like this. You're not going to have gameplay like this on a 2600. Gotcha. I'm playing with a keyboard. Forgive me. I recommend playing this game with a Sega pad though. It plays better with a thumb pad than an Atari joystick. It is a one-button game though. Got me. Whoa! They're being merciless to me. But yeah, I may make a sequel to this game one of these days too. And just try to make it that much better. So, give Yeet Fighter a chance. Send me an email if you want the game. I'm a scholar. People like me. Okay. Hello everybody. Hope you're doing good today. Progress on the game. I've made significant progress on the game and some changes to the game, to WVW. I really love how it looks. I envision those letters looking like a ref raising the arms of victors, kind of. But yeah, so just to clarify something, I said in the comments something to the effect of that I would need pallets of energy drinks to be able to finish this game in a month, and that was a joke. I wasn't meaning to insult anybody or anything. I don't think anyone was truly insulted by it, but it is likely that I could finish this game in a month. I'm getting it's been I've directed a lot of attention, so it's been a main focus when I'm not, you know, taking care of all the other things I deal with in a day. But there is a good chance that I can get this game ready you know, in a month, maybe 2 months, but I'm hoping in a month. Um, like I said, I've made changes though, and I think that I think it's going to look good. I really like it. So one thing I've done, um, well, I'll show you here in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to say I didn't mean to insult anybody by saying that that was a joke. I was just purely joking, you know, that hey, if I had a couple of pallets of energy drinks with 200 milligrams a can and didn't eat, then not only could I finish the game, but I would lose enough weight to fit in my Ghostbusters costume for Halloween, which is highly unlikely. I mean, I'm slightly overweight, and back when I made my Ghostbusters costume, um, I bought the actual real flight suit that they used to make the costume, and then I had a custom made glow in the dark name label. It's like 3D rubber printed uh, Ghostbuster symbol with a Velcro backed embroidered glow in the dark name label, and I made my own proton pack by hand. Uh, and it's a prized possession. I mean, I downloaded several sources, and they all had different recommendations of how to go with it. And I basically had to do a mishmash of all of those things and came up with it's a 1:1 scale. I put some I soldered some stuff from cheap Dollar General lightsabers to it, and I really like it though. It's one of my favorite things. It's mostly cardboard, and that was one thing that I've got over on the other guys out there wearing the expensive proton packs that you can buy. They have proton packs now that are, you know, hundreds, upwards of $1,000, and they all have one characteristic amongst them, and that's that they are ridiculously heavy. Everyone talks in the reviews about how, oh, I got this new whatever sideshow 1:1 scale proton pack, and it's got great light up effects and sound effects, and the wand lights up, and it's so awesome. But this thing weighs like such and such, like 40 pounds of plastic and wires and metal and stuff. Mine is lightweight. A little kid could easily wear this proton pack, and my proton pack looks pretty much exactly like a real one. Like if you saw it, you would think it was a real proton pack. Only upon really, really close, tight inspection do you realize, wait a minute, that thing's made out of cardboard. And it is. It's mostly cardboard. And, you know, I put red light up parts around the back, the accelerator, and totally off subject. This is a mouse that I bought off of Temu. It's actually a really, really great mouse. It's my favorite. I really like it. It's just like a little, this is what I draw all of my computer graphics with. And if you look in my picture, this is my guitar that fell off the wall. And it's an orange 1988 Ibanez RS series. And this was when they stopped calling the Roadstar series Roadstar and began calling them RS. And it's fine. I did some work on it yesterday and played it and stuff. Just okay. Right here is my 486 computer. I think I showed it in a video recently. So anybody who watches all my videos is like, hey, dude, you just pointed this out. But maybe I didn't point out though that I have a let's see if I can find it, a bowling ball bag right there, and inside it is a professional hammer bowling ball. Yeah, so I want to use that very soon. And I've got one of my PA speakers, which is right there. That's a one out of a pair with a really nice PA system. And I've got a drum set here. This is a professional grade sawtooth drum set, and I've got some made in America cymbals, which I love. I've got a really, really good pedal and a good throne. So that's for when I decide to go crazy and play some drums, which my kids say sounds amazing, but I think I'm just going crazy when I play drums. So I'm going to show the changes that I've made and show a little bit of progress, and we'll see a lot of stuff. I've added Okay, the entire list of moves that I made, I have added. So they're in there now. They just need instructions on when to happen and where to go and all that. So that's all. That's going to be a lot of fun to do. But also, I have some room now, and I'm going to try to squeeze in a little bit more. I don't know exactly what. Okay, so we're going to talk about that here in just a second. Now the red at the bottom of the screen, in case you're new, are sprites, or in the case of Atari programming, player graphics. Sprites didn't exist when player graphics came out. In 1977, I don't think the term sprite had been established yet, even though they did have the beginnings of what would become tile-based graphics. The Atari was different than any other system in how it made graphics. It does rows of color, and it fits enough of them in there on the screen with some instructions, and so that's why the Atari draws everything in little lines of color. So we're going to look now. Before I had two wrestlers on the screen, and my little sprite creation method uses two player graphics for each one would-be sprite. I'm going to call them sprites from now on, just for brevity and for, ease of identification here, but these are actually what would have been known as player graphics. Now, in the original 8-bit computers, I think they allowed for 4 player graphics. When you look at the 2600, it uses the same processor, but it's hobbled. It's a variant of the 6502 called the 6507 that has less registers. And when you learn about the capabilities of the two different hardwares, then you'll see that the Atari 2600 is almost like half of a 800 or a 400. So the Atari 8-bit computers, where they had 4 available player graphics, the 2600, or the VCS when it was first released was known as the Video Computer System, has 2 player graphics, where then you could have 4 missile parts with the computer. Now you have 2. The resolution was higher on the computer. We're talking about a computer, of course. It costs more, it does more. You get your keyboard and printers and disk drives and cartridges and tape players and controllers and just an overall, categorically better but more expensive experience. If you put Donkey Kong, the cartridge game from the Atari 400-800 library, in your computer, and then compare it to Donkey Kong on most of the systems pre-Nintendo, you're going to say, oh well, the Atari really kicks butt. It's the best. And even if like within the case of the Commodore 64 from the early 80s, more tiles, more color, better graphics, the gameplay still isn't really there. So it was one of the best Donkey Kongs, and a lot of the games were like that. So we have a hobbled 6502 and the 6507 that's in your 2600, and the player graphics using Visual Atari Basic or Atari Basic are these little statements. And so I have variables tied to them. Here's one, and then right here's another one. I'm going to scroll up, and you can just see what it looks like how much you're getting out of a full eighth bank. Okay, so here's one, and just look as I'm scrolling up through here. There's the instructions for each individual wrestler, their color, their size, and then this left side is going to change. This left side number will change the missile width. Here's the missile location. And then here we're coming onto the same informational only for the other wrestler. Okay, and this is the second instance of the sprite, the instructions for those. Now we're getting up into another bank full, but all graphics go into the eighth bank. So these, for as far as the bank is considered, it's really just some characters, some typing. The actual data is in the eighth bank, which is why it says bank 8. And then a small number of what's left. So here we have the first instance of the second wrestler. the instructions, and then the first instance of the first wrestler. And you probably can see this is a lot of player graphics, especially if you just think of any Atari 2600 game that you can come up with in memory and think of how many different graphics are going on in that game. And this is a lot. This is a lot of graphics. I have 306 bytes left, and that's not much, but it is enough to do a couple of more small things that I'm hoping to be able to get done. And as I said in the last episode's theme was sacrifices for more. Okay, and so by sacrificing some little things here and there, I'm getting more. What I sacrificed was the shirt-wearing wrestler, and then I modified the first player wrestler by adding knee pads so that I could use the same frames for both. Okay, so the first, and that freed up a whole bunch of room. So the first guy is done, the second guy's done. I can go in and change little tiny details here and there now that everything's where it needs to be. Now then, I said, oh, I want more. I want more, I want more. So what am I going to do? Because I want even more graphics. I went ahead and I looked at the game and thought, what can I change? Well, I have the ring, but then I have the top rope segment with the crowd and the signs. I have the, now here's some more sprite data too, up high. Those are parts of the backgrounds and the referee. So that there's even more that's in there. I have people in the crowd. I have signs that pop up. I've got the top rope and the characters are up there. And I'm thinking, okay, what I can do to free even more ROM space in that 8th bank, at least, you know, several hundred bytes, is get rid of one of these backgrounds. So now there are only 2 different backgrounds that will be used. One of them used as the right side and left side of the ring, and no top turnbuckle, you know, exclusive background. And what I did was I combined the 2. I put some of the crowd from the top turnbuckle scene and all of the signs from the top turnbuckle scene, with the ring being shorter length or shorter depth wise and closer to the bottom of the screen. The ref has been shrunk somewhat to fit into the screen better. And then I have basically a combination of both screens, and it freed up a lot of space, and I think it looks good. So we're going to take a look at that now. Well, I have to hit the keyboard. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pick a character. I'll pick the this guy. There we go. So I've changed some of the colors for the signs so they stand out a little better. The crowd is now higher resolution because the background that they're part of is higher resolution. The letters now have a gray backdrop instead of blue, and this was to make the flap on the side of the ring not just blend right in with the blue background. And as you can see, the ring is more center focused, and there's less overall depth to the ring. You probably might notice that the ref is shorter, but he's still doing pretty much the same thing. A staggered little march. Okay, and both guys move. Hold my keyboard this way. All right. As you can see, the guy on the left has knee pads, and the guy on the right has knee pads. Oh, the walking animation is slightly different now. I think it looks pretty good. There's more of a visual separation between the steps. Less of a turning motion and more of a stepping motion, I think. So I think that looks pretty good. Now, what adventures have I had lately? Well, I've been talking to 2 programmers now. One of them, Feroy, who comments and is an exceptional programmer, and another one. So I'll just say shout out to Gecko, who asked me about making a I think he said 12 pixel wide sprite using, you know, basically said he sent it out and they said this is impossible, which it is. I mean, an 8 pixel wide sprite is the maximum unless you're using the built-in sprite doubling or quadrupling features within the system. And even then, you're getting, you know, an 8 pixel wide sprite that's been stretched. But there are methods to create a 16 pixel wide sprite. So the way you would do that is with the way I do graphics, you use 2 draw screens and then you layer the graphics. Well, you don't have to layer them. If you don't want that third color, maybe you're going to use player colors to add rows of colors like most Atari games have, or just use a single color if you want to. Then, instead of layering the 2 sprites like what's done in this game, you can actually put them side by side. And then you have a 16 pixel wide sprite. And you can do that, you know, easily with pretty much anything. I went ahead and showed him a little program, and I honestly, both of these guys, I think they know what they're doing. And you know, I can help to a degree, maybe because I'm an imaginative person. But as far as, you know, the skills go and stuff, I think they've got that part in the bag. They know what they're doing. So, but you know, it's neat to talk to people or to chat with them or share information with each other when you're all into the same thing. It's now that's 3 people that are all kind of into the same thing, and we're all, you know, chatting with each other about this stuff, and it's really, really cool. I feel like a lot can get done, and we can get a lot of ideas and piggyback and share. Stuff like that. So I mean, I'd say that it's neat to feel like I could be making friends with people. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that we are, as my daughter would put it, zesty besties for the resty, but we are like, I don't know, maybe like baby eagles in a nest, all vying for the same marmot that our mommy eagles dropping on us, kind of stuff like that. I think we all 3 want our game to be done. We all 3 want our game to be seen. We all want it published. We want to get it out the door and get people entertained. I'm not saying that it's a competition, but because we're all doing 3 very unique and different things. So what Furroy did was a kaiju, or in our country, Godzilla video game, but also is working on a really cool role-playing game, pretty much like nothing. It is like nothing else that's on the Atari. That's pretty cool. It's first person, like Ultima Underworld dungeon crawler, only it has like weapon swinging gimmick with lots of bad guys and prizes and overworld map, items that you can purchase. It uses text. It's got a lot. It's got a lot going on. What Gecko is thinking of making, and I hope he does this because it's a really great idea, is a video game kind of like Zelda, only your character is a gecko. And if anybody's seen how geckos move, it's really cool. It's like kind of a almost a circular kind of winding, spiraling kind of motion with their bodies as they move, and it's very like entertaining. They're shifty, coily, almost like a sidewinder if a sidewinder was a lizard, right? Something like that. So I thought that was really cool, a great idea. Now what I showed him, and I'll just show it real quick, 'cause it's not a big deal. I threw it together with graphics that I already made for things that I'm also working on and have worked on. Let's see. I hope the same stuff is here. Let's see. Okay. All right. So here we have a little fairy with a palace and a Zelda guy, or a Link, who I named Dink, which means nothing. Okay, I didn't realize it had any kind of connotations. I guess a positive allegory, or not allegory, a positive acronym is dual income, no kids, dink, which is two people that are married or their life partners are together and they have shared income but no kids to eat up their money. Then if you hit the button here, this is actually a modified sprite that I took from the video game The Legend of Zelda. So if you want to zoom in here and take a look at him, I'll see if I can't get it to focus real quick. Now this, again, I'm using manual focus all the time now. So here we go. How about that? I did it. Okay. And you can see, all I did was drew the ring on the shield, because I think it's like a cross or some kind of different shape. Other than that, though, that is the sprite copied from. Now, okay, of course, I took a screenshot of an emulator, which like added a weird like comb filter TV effect, but then I reduced it and changed it using a paint program. So it was made from that. It's not an absolute identical pixel per pixel copy, but it is like a cut, copy, paste, and then I changed it and tweaked a little bit. Now this is using 2 screens with 2 draw screens and 2 sprites. So everything's used up, but because this is the multi-sprite kernel that I did this picture, I can have the little fairy. Now the reason I sent him this picture, the reason I sent him this program with these 2 things was to show what would happen if something shared the same horizontal row in the multi-sprite kernel with my method. Now if you're just using single color or color row sprites, when they share the horizontal row, all it does is flicker or shimmer a little bit. It's totally no big whoop. In fact, it happens on Nintendo games. If you ever play a Nintendo game and you notice that one of the sprites seems like it's ghosting or shimmering or flickering, you'll probably also notice, if you pay attention, that several things are sharing the same horizontal line on that system. So it has the exact same problem, and it uses a similar processor. So from the same family. I think it's an actual 6502, not a 6507, if I remember correctly. But of course, you know, the NES processor and its little bits that are in there are more advanced. They're way better. Okay. So, and I love the Nintendo. But see, there we go. So they intersected and it made bits of it disappear. See, so if you're going to use this method, then you're going to want to be very careful about how sprites interact with each other. And I could probably layer these things in a way to where it flickers instead of having whole chunks disappear. But the point is that it's going to cause problems, because in this case, because half of the fairy graphic is being used from half of the first player graphic, they can't be on the same horizontal row. Once it gets out of the way, then they're actually being drawn in separate places, so they don't have to share that and they can work. So hey, that's cool. Here's the original again, and he's just you know, almost like a Legend of Zelda Link from like maybe the second game, and I think he looks great. Like, I think that looks better than what we got with Legend of Zelda 2, which I think is, I almost feels like, I don't know, it feels like somebody took a different game, like with Super Mario 2. They took some different game and they just redrew it with Zelda graphics. But I mean, if you look at this guy, he's got a belt, he's got pouches, he's got lace-up sandals, he's got like a tied front cloak looking kind of thing with a tunic, a hat, his hair's popping out from under his hat. I think he looks considerably better than the Nintendo art of this same character. And this is showing that the fairy does not cause him to flicker or shimmer. They both have no problem sharing the same horizontal row at all. So that's really what that was for. Now the Zelda graphic, or the Link graphic, is from a game that I was making a demo for one, and I was going to flesh it out and make a game. I still will one day, where it's all like power women from video games. So like maybe Samus and Princess Peach and who else was in it? Zelda, of course. And they're all part of this video game. And then Link was just in there as an NPC, like backdrop character, someone to talk to or something. So I just made him kind of pretty boy, you know, just kind of standing there looking pretty. But and the fairy is from the new graphics for my new version of Titan X, which was my first published game that I'm remaking, and it's being remade with this style of graphics that I always use now, the layered 3-color sprite, pseudo tile graphics sprites. All of my games are going to have these kind of graphics. I mean, once you start doing this and getting these kind of results, it's kind of hard to go back. You know, like once you realize you can actually make graphics that look like this. Here's one of him looking. So if you look now, they have some different poses. Now and here one of the next things I'm going to do is put a championship belt in his hands, so he's holding it up above his head. I'm also going to test certain championship belts around their waists, so that they can look like they're a champion, like maybe the the Intercontinental, that's one of them, or the world champion. So he's got his arms up there. And there are a few sprites that I still want to try to put in here, if I can. And I might change some of the colors. So here's my new first screen. Well, actually this is the screen you'll end up in after the introduction screens. I don't think these are blurry. I think they look pretty good. But I really like it. I think it's better. There's not nearly as much or any wasted space, where the bottom of the screen might have been considered some wasted space. And I immediately felt like with all the action going on in the other screens, the in-ring screen looked like it was just missing a lot of action. So now this has got your crowd, noise, signs, ref, everything. And so the next thing is to try to make sure that he can climb up on that top rope and do stuff, and it'll still be okay. I'm pretty sure. Well, of course, the first thing that's going to happen once you go up there to climb that top rope is the signs are all going to be turned off right when you go to do that. So, and that's no big deal. That's just part of the programming is, hey, we don't want any clashing with sprites or anything, so that's going to disappear. And when the character climbs up there, I might have him sunk down just a little bit, and then just being right there at the very tip top of it, and that's fine too. So I really like it. I think it looks way better. And then when you fall out the ring, I'll wait till the ref gets over to the left so he doesn't clash with this. Then you're here again, and I like this screen. I don't really have any desire or reason to change this screen. And we'll see if there we go. And then the left side, which has the camera. This will be the entrance screen for the first player. So you'll be walking past the camera, going up to the ring, and then I'm thinking I might make it so that they can like charge up the crowd by raising their arms or stuff like that, you know. I've been thinking a lot about how to use these moves, and so I'll go ahead and show what some of these graphics look like. Now they're going to be in the wrong place on the screen, and they're not going to be being used for the moves at first. They're going to be part of the character selection screen, so they'll actually be right here, and of course some of them will not be in the right spot, okay, but they are going to be up there so we can take a look at what some of these graphics are going to look like. Okay, so I've went ahead and assigned each of the characters on the left side to one of the frames. The first one is grapple. Okay, and I'm just going to cycle through each one of them as I change wrestlers. Okay, so that's the step, but it also can be a headlock or, you know, the beginning of a different move. If turned sideways, it can be a reaction to being punched, or if mirrored, I mean. Okay, here we have the punch, but can also be a clothesline. It can be the standing up part of a suplex. Okay, that's a character either doing a drop kick or getting up from being knocked down, falling down, lots of different things. It's kind of hard to see that guy. He's dark. So let's see, that's drop, that's 5. I'll go ahead and assign that to a different character here in a second so we can get another look of that same move. Okay, there's our lifting, and it looks kind of orangey on this character. That's the splash move when they jump off of a rope. There's the slump down move. This could be the beginning of a headlock or a pile driver from the other character. It could be fatigue. It can be the character being hit from above, getting their head slammed into a turnbuckle, hit with a chair, stuff like that. Okay, we have the knee move, which is crouching, or a flying knee move, or getting up from falling down. Could be lots of stuff. That's the person being held upside down to get ready to do a suplex or a pile driver, or it could be the falling forward part of being slammed. Okay, there we have the pin. Let's see, that's the, what is that, the person being pinned. Oh. Okay, so I'll go ahead and assign 5 to the last character. There we go. Now this makes me think that I'm going to need to adjust the colors so it's easier to tell what's going on some of these. Some of the brighter colors get in the way. I'm also looking to add belts. Hopefully a back view of the character so that they can add some extra dimensions to the movement and have all kinds of reasons for it. I want to add the Boston Crab move if I can, and for that I'll have the character spun around and then the legs hooked, and then I'll have the opponent on the mat. I'd also like to try to do a figure 4 leg lock in there somewhere. So those are all hopefully able to be smashed in there. I'm running out of room though. There's no way I can do it in just 300K, but I'm going to do what I can with what I have left. Everything else added from here on out is bonus stuff. And then I've tried to make a universal, kind of universally usable frames that can have all kinds of purpose. So like nothing there is just the same thing over and over again. So yeah, and from the proper distance viewing the sprites, the colors might not be so contrasting, but I'm definitely going to be adjusting colors. I'm going to be fine-tuning so that the muscle and definition colors are a little more subtle, so that you can more clearly see what's going on in the pictures. I'm also going to be changing some of the details for the wrestlers so that we have as much uniqueness, but I don't want any two wrestlers to look exactly the same. You know, for instance, the first two wrestlers, they look almost the same. But the guy on the right actually is tan, whereas the guy on the left is more peach colored. They both have the same colored trunks, but the hairstyle is different and the face shape is different between the two characters. So I might change the character on the left's color slightly with the hair and the trunks and stuff, just so if you instinctively hit the button and just start playing the very first character, you won't be like, oh, these are two exact same, you know, characters. I really don't want that. So I think it looks great. I think this is going to work out really well. I've already explained my idea for moves, locking up and then pressing directions and button presses to get different things to do. Certain moves canceling out other moves to help decide what move is executed, and to develop strategy. And I'll be plugging in some random numbers. I've already got a random number generator on this screen now because that's what's running the signs. So that same random number generator, whatever numbers it spits out, can just be grabbed at for the moves. So that makes that part easy. So yeah, is it possible for me to get this game done in a month? I think it is. If I dedicate, you know, every day and don't take too many breaks, then yeah, I think there's a chance I can get the game done in a month. I really want Titan X, not Titan X, what am I saying? I want Yeet Fighter to be recognized too for what it is and for how good of a game that it is. And you know, I might show a clip of that at the beginning of the video so that people can be, you know, maybe more enticed to buy the game and help me out a little bit. So I get more, let's see, things that I need, like inhalers and energy drinks. These are, my daughter asked my friend to buy these for us when they went on a grocery trip. So we got a case. We got a case where they're the sugar-free ones because their mom doesn't want them drinking a bunch of refined sugar, and I don't want them consuming a lot of refined sugar. So in my own life, what's happened that's not directly related to all this stuff? Well, my son and I have been playing chess a lot again, and he's getting to the point where he's just about to beat me for the first time, and he's 10 years old. And you know, I mean, I've played chess for a long time, you know, something like over 30 years, you know, something like 32, 33, maybe 35 years, something like that. I've lost more games than I've won, and I've played against extremely good chess players. Like, I used to go to this coffee shop down the street called Java Jazz, and they would have guys there having coffee and playing chess, and I would get a chance to play against people who were actually, like, they had numbers. They were registered chess players, and at least one of them was a master, and I never beat him, ever. I never even got close to beating him, and I probably played him, you know, several dozen times. But I have won my fair share of games, and my son has known how to play chess. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's known how to play so long he doesn't even remember when he learned to play chess. But he's never beaten me, and you know, I've told him sometimes he gets really worked up, just like any kid does, when he thinks he's about to win and then things go south, right? And I try to curb that with encouragement and stuff, but I also remind him that if I let him win, that's not an honorable victory. You know, that I want him to win on his own merits, and that I'm not going to play stupid and just let somebody win. In fact, I may not even know how to do that. You know, so he is so good now. Yesterday, he almost beat me. Now, when we were playing, there was one moment where his I think it was his queen's knight was in the wrong place, and he made some move and wasn't paying as much attention to it, and I snagged that knight, and that was the very moment when the game actually turned tides. I thought he was going to beat me for the majority of the game. I thought this is going to be the first time he beats me. I'm sure he thought he was going to beat me. And I think we both knew, right when I took that knight, that the rest of this match was downhill. Even though we kept playing, he kept trying, we gave it our all, it was a good game. That we both saw and felt that moment. And he was very emotional about it. He was in tears. And I hugged him and I told him, you know, I love you. You know, I want you to have a good, honorable victory against me. And I said, you have to remember, I'm pushing 50, and I've played probably hundreds of games of chess against dozens of people, and I've lost so much. And I didn't, you know, I never ever let it get to me. I have never ever let a chess loss affect me, because I feel like chess especially, there really is no way to lose at a game of chess. You're always going to learn, you're always going to feel that strategy of it, and you're always going to pick up experience from it. So it's a very rewarding situation regardless. Now, when I played against the good guys, I would always say, you know, hey, I don't care. I'm just happy to get a chance to play against you. And that's how I've really always felt about it. And I don't consider myself like an above average chess player, but I will say I can beat battle chess. Like if I sit down and play the video game battle chess, I will beat it. And I can beat video game chess. The ones that come with those hack games, Sega Genesis, they always come with those like maybe 20 different El Cheapo toss-in games. I'll play chess on that. I'll beat that chess game, no problem. So I'm good enough to beat video game chess. I'm good enough to beat most people that I've met and known, other than those really good players. When my wife and I were first together, she beat me a lot. And then I started actually winning against her. And then I remember here fast forwarding, 20 some odd, almost, 30 years later, she now says that I was always beating her when I wasn't. She beat me probably more than I ever beat her at the game. And, but I want my son to win so bad now, because it rips my heart out to see him get emotional. But I won't dishonor him. I won't dishonor him and be stupid and throw the game and lose on purpose, because that just wouldn't be any good. And I know he's going to win. Like I know very soon, which means he'll be a 10-year-old boy, or maybe an 11-year-old boy by the time he beats me, because his birthday is in about 1 month, that can beat a 50-year-old who's played chess for 30 years or more. So I'm really looking forward to that moment, because I think it's going to make him feel really, really good. I think that all of the emotions are going to go away. And he gets picked on sometimes, like little kids do. He doesn't play football, he doesn't play basketball, he doesn't play volleyball, so he's not in any of those school sports, but he loves baseball, and we play catch, and I pitch for him, and he hits it with his bat, and whenever he plays baseball, whenever they play wiffle ball in school, he just dominates. He said, like last year when he was getting ready to play, he said, the first pitch they threw at me, I hit it, and it went through the goal in the basketball goal. And everybody's like, whoa. And he said, I got 5 runs that game. So he is great at baseball, but they very rarely play baseball or wiffle ball. They play like weird sports, like where you're throwing a smush ball at someone while rolling on a wheeled cart while, I don't know, if someone tags you, then you're asleep. Just crazy school, gym class rules. And then they'll play dodgeball. And he came home one day and I was like, what's wrong, dude? He had this look on his face. He goes, I don't know, I'm just tired of getting hit in the face in dodgeball. I said, okay, look. I said, straight up, dude. I said, what's this? And I did Hira no Kamae, the wind posture in ninjutsu. And he goes, that's this. He did. And I said, it's Hira. And I said, it's wind form. I said, do that. I said, get out of the way of the ball. He goes, but people keep telling me to catch it. I said, ignore them. And then I said, if you're going to catch the ball, and I've taught him this too in baseball, because he'll sometimes when he gets tired, he'll just kind of branch his arm out there, right? Like when I play catch, I'll throw kind of hard or I'll throw high up in the air, so he'll have to try to catch it, right? And he'll feel a little bit of heat from it, and he likes that. He actually asks me to throw harder and stuff like that. But he'll sometimes get tired and he'll catch the ball just by kind of reaching out his arm. And I have to remind him, get under the ball. You know, like get the glove up, get it ready, keep your eye on the ball, and get under that ball. And I said that's the same thing with dodgeball. I said, you know, you got to make a big wide space with your body and get your arms like in a hug posture, ready to close in on that ball. And right when it's up on you, I said, wait until the very last second. I said, don't try to catch it before it gets to you. Wait till that very last millisecond when it's right there almost touching you, and then grab that thing. Because I used to be great at dodgeball. You know, I'd catch the ball and hit people, and we all got hit in the face and stuff all the time. And then, of course, it happened again. He came home a couple days later, dodgeball, I mean, and he goes, oh, today I caught the ball and got like 5 people out. I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah. He goes, and I was the last person out there. Everybody was out on my team except for me, and I was dodging everything. So, but he has a hard time, you know, like kids that go and play basketball and are really good. Well, if they play anything remotely close to basketball, then they dominate everyone. Kids who play football, whenever they play tag, the kids that play football always win because they're playing flag tag and stuff all the time during practice. Kids that play volleyball, the girls especially, will spike a volleyball right into your face. And then you're a little kid that's probably never played volleyball or maybe tried to play it once in their life. Then they had volleyball one day, and a lot of the kids who were no good at it were like, oh no, because we're no good, right? And then the gym teacher tosses out this giant beach volleyball. And my son was like, yes. He goes, I loved that. Because he goes, I hit that thing over the net over and over. He goes, I got lots of points. So he got a chance to do good at it. But he is such a great person. You know, when you got a kid and you just love them. I love my daughter and my son. I love my 2 youngest kids. They are my friends, and they're also just like truly excellent people. And he's such a great little human being. You feel that, you know, I must be an empath, because I can tell you, I feel it in my heart. I feel their emotions on me really heavily in my heart, and it just pulls at my heart. When they cry, I hurt, and I cry on the inside, you know what I mean? It really hurts. And I just want him to win, you know, and I want him to feel good instead of feeling bad. I want him to, you know, feel good about his accomplishments and stuff. And we're talking about a little kid where the last week he came home and he had his grades, right? And he had all 100 A's in every class. He had a 100% A in every single class. And he's in Logos, high ability, high creativity school. So we're talking about a little kid who not only is, you know, as smart as he can possibly be, and he's really good when he learns the stuff. Like he picked up the yo-yo in like 3 or 4 days. He wanted a yo-yo, and I went because his friend had one in school. And so I just gave him my high wall. I said, here you go, you can take it. And he plays with it every day. In like 3 days, he was doing stuff with that yo-yo that I have never been able to do. Having played with yo-yos when I was a kid, knowing how to use them and then walk, run, yo-yo this, yo-yo that, whatever. He can launch them forward now and spin them around and catch them and roll them up like it's nothing. Like he got a doll bow song, what we used to call a butterfly knife. In like a week's time, he was spinning and flipping that thing around in his hands like Bruce Lee. He looked like a martial art. He looked like a Jackie Chan movie with that freaking butterfly knife. So I know he's got it, but you know, when it comes to something like chess, and I told him too, because he was emotional, and I said, look man, I said, what do you expect? Do you expect to easily defeat a 50-year-old man who's played hundreds of games and played with chess masters? I said, it's going to take, your very, very best. And I said, though, you are going to win. You're going to beat me very, very soon. And you're going to be a little kid that can beat a 50-year-old man at chess. Straight up. It's going to happen soon. And I told him, too. I said, look, the way to win here is, this ain't, speed chess. I said, take as much time as you want. Take as much time as you need between every move. If you feel like getting up and walking around and taking a breath of fresh air and getting a drink and going outside, whatever, wait. Take your time. Sometimes it helps strategically to take your time. Whatever, take your time. And I said, second thing, look at every single move that your opponent can make. Know where every piece can go on your opponent's side of the board. Make absolutely sure you know. And I'm sure in that last game, the moment the tides turned against him, he missed that one tiny little move that I could have done against his knight. And that was it. I felt it. We both felt it right when I took that piece. He was beating me. And then once I took that piece, we both felt it. You're going to win now. It's like we felt the wind change at that very moment. And I did win eventually. But we did have a talk about it too, like throughout the game. Different moves that could have been done. And as we were progressing through the game towards the end, I helped to make him see some different things that could be done in the game to help him out. But yeah, God love them. These kids, some of them are good. Some of these little kids, they are actually really good people. You get to meet them and know them. My first batch of kids, man, they won't even talk to me. And I'm telling you, it hurts super bad. It breaks my heart really, really bad because I miss my son. My older son, I miss him. My daughters, I miss my daughters. Every day I miss them so much. And I think it's a terrible weakness in a person to take the handful of bad things that happen in your life and let them shadow over the endless good things that happened between you and your family and your life. And that's really what this is. We had a great life for the 18 to 20 years that I was raising my first batch of kids. And then whatever bad things happened between me and their mom made it to where they won't be my children anymore. And I don't want to delve too deep into the aspects of what it might be. I mean, I've studied mental health now enough to believe that it really could be underlying narcissisms and things that are things I have no control over. 40-year-old women losing their freaking marbles combined with cheating and lying and backstabbing tactics and, just knowing that I'm essentially, it's like trying to hurt Hercules with a, I don't know, a mud ball or something. The only way to hurt me is to break my heart. And so they know that this is the way to hurt me as much as they possibly can. And it is hurting me. And I wish they'd know that what they're doing is killing me. And it hurts me so bad. And I miss them so bad. Every single day I miss my kids so bad. But my two kids that I'm raising now, they know me. They actually know me. Whereas my grown-up kids have forgotten. They have forgotten the face of their father. And I'm here all the time, every single day, waiting for them, wishing that I could spend time with them and that they'd be with me. And, nothing hurts like that. So, it is a weakness to let the handful of bad things that happen in your life shadow over and ruin the endless good times that you had, the good things that happen between you and your family.